also a marijuana activist. I've been a comedian for over 20 years, and then I've been a marijuana activist for 3 years. Marijuana is almost, to me, it's almost a staple in a comics routine now. I found that I would be on stage in places like Montana and in front of cowboys, and I'll mention weed and they're like, woo! I mean, like, if you're worried about getting them back on your side, just go, hey, I smoke pot!
I went back to my hotel room, I was between shows, and I smoked some weed called God's Gift, right? They're like, you know what I'm talking about.
A lot of the subject matters that are considered to be taboo, but everybody does, is something that people connect with, especially when they're in a club and drinking and things like that.
I walked in and I went, oh, this is great. I got my first marijuana plants, and they stare at me and they go, oh, we have basil and cherry tomatoes here. And it was like I brought the lube and the dildos to the wrong party.
California is the most progressive state. We actually are the first to have dispensaries that open up where it's called the collective. Patients come in, you belong to the collective grows your marijuana for you, and then you pay the money for those expenses. When we started that started a lot of raids that happened, specifically in 2008 when the Bush administration was going on. I didn't realize it, but that people actually got arrested for cultivating marijuana. I didn't understand that the federal government did not agree with our state laws. I really didn't get how things were working at the time and the pool of controversy that I had stepped into.
I actually was in a raid at a medical marijuana dispensary, okay? Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for applauding me for that. Yeah, I was in a raid. Yeah, it was one of those moments. It was a life-changing moment, okay? What happened was I had done a radio show for National Lampoon Radio, which was for 420. So I got done with the show and I smoked some weed and I had a really good buzz and I'm having like a cup of coffee and all of a sudden somebody goes, it's a raid! It's a raid! And I look out the window and there it is, and there they are, the DEA. I mean, it's like a movie. And they go, where's your purse? And I go, my purse is over there. And he takes my ID out and he says, is all your information correct? And I go, yeah, except for the weight. I'm like 10 pounds over. And I'm trying to be funny and charming, but that doesn't work because no one laughed. And then they escorted us into this room. And we were all handcuffed, we're all sitting there, we're all in a circle. All of a sudden somebody yells out and they go, I'd really like to have a glass of water. And the FBI goes, well, if we give you water, we have to give everybody here in the room water. And then somebody over the corner goes, I'd like to have some water too. And they're like, and the people are like, yeah. We were like shaking our heads like, yeah, we want water. We want water. And then all of a sudden somebody yells out and they say, well, why don't you just go ahead and arrest the tweakers and the heroin addicts? And one of the FBI agents said, because marijuana is against the law. And I'm like, not according to us, it's not.
The day that I was in the raid, I was supposed to do an article for the Pasadena Weekly. And I called them up. I said, hey, I was just in a raid. And they go, at a medical marijuana dispensary, they go, get here immediately. And the editor was very pro-marijuana. I walked in, I told him the story, he says, this is a cover story. And then it was like how a DEA raid turned me into a missionary for medical marijuana. I'm like, no, like I'm a freaking missionary now, I believe that the happening that's happened to me surrounding marijuana has caused me to be a different kind of comedian, a different kind of artist. Realizing that what we say and what we create is really powerful, and really in changing the world or changing the way people live and giving knowledge it's a wonderful way to do it. And if you see that window of opportunity and you want to be of service to something like that, that's where I'm at right now. Whether it be pot or the liberation of our sexuality. or any other subject matter that might come my way. But I am definitely behind the legalization of hemp and marijuana. And actually, America is one of the very few countries that does not have it illegal right now. Which is ironic because our Constitution was written on hemp paper.
And so anyways, the officer looked at me and he with his little hands, he looked up at me and he says, are you a medical marijuana patient? And I said, no, because I wasn't at the time. And he says, why are you here? And I go, well, I was at National Lampoon Radio, I needed a ride, I ended up here, I was like, you know, that's why I'm here. And he looks at me and he says, do you smoke marijuana illegally? I mean, like, what kind of question is that? Like here I am sitting there, like, I can't say, oh, no, I don't smoke marijuana. Actually, statistically, 97 million Americans have smoked marijuana at one point in their lifetime. Like, right? I mean, that's probably this entire room, right? 97 million, like, there's 3% that haven't smoked it. Like, why the fuck are they, like, making our laws for us? That's what I'm wondering, you know? So I looked at him and I said, yeah, I smoke marijuana on occasion. Yes, I smoked marijuana. And he says, that is the most honest thing anybody said to me. Go ahead and check out.
It's more than marijuana. It's about our freedom. It's about the fact that our vote counts. That if people want something to be implemented, then it should be that way. I think West Hollywood is really the only city I know in Southern California where we're actually allowed to smoke weed on the street. West Hollywood has been part of creating Proposition 215 in the marijuana laws. It's really the epicenter of the marijuana movement.
I'm from West Hollywood, which is a sanctuary city, which means that you can smoke marijuana on the street. Yeah, which it's a little scary still. I'm still afraid I'm going to be arrested, but it's still really great. Like, you can stand in front of the Rage and you can go, yeah, I'm gay, and I smoke pot. What are you gonna do about it?
What's really interesting about marijuana is there are a lot of really powerful women that are very much part of the movement, owning dispensaries to being patient advocates, to being part of creating Proposition 215, as well as the new proposition what's going on the ballot this year as well. So women are, I find that really interesting that we're really behind it and taking strong positions with it. Marijuana it's the female plant that actually grows the bud.
I open the door, and there's 2 police officers sitting there, and the police officer looks at me and he goes, do you have marijuana in your room? And I'm like, yes. Yes, I do. He goes, do you realize that you're the entertainer and you're smoking marijuana? And I'm like, what part of this surprises you? I said, well, you know what? I said, I thought Oregon is a marijuana state. Like, it's, you know, I thought, you know, this is medical marijuana here. I'm from California. I'm a patient. I'm an activist. And they go, this is an India casino. This is owned by the federal government. I'm like, shit, why didn't I know that? Like, what happened to the Indians? I thought the Indians owned it. He goes, we're not going to arrest you, but we're going to have to take your marijuana. I was like, oh, good news, bad news all at once. You know, it's okay that I'm not being arrested, but he's taking my weed. And I don't know what happened. Like, maybe he got like a contact high or something. I mean, I don't know what happened. But he looked at me and he says, you know what? He goes, we're just gonna ask you to put your marijuana in the car.
It's about healing our planet. It's about taking care of the oil spill that's happening right now, giving us an alternative form of energy, giving us another cash crop that's out there, having a way to make paper and clothing and make ourselves have, you know, to appreciate the earth. And I think that there is definitely a shift happening and a higher level of change, and that's why I'm standing behind